Money is power, and in that government which pays all the public offices of the states will all political power be substantially concentrated. I weep for the liberty of my country, when I see at this early day of its successful experiment that corruption has been imputed to many members of the House of Representatives, and the rights of the people have been bartered for promises of office. There is no pleasure in having nothing to do. The fun is having lots to do, and not doing it. Take time to deliberate. But when the time for action arrives, stop thinking and go in. The Bible is the rock on which this republic rests. Peace, above all things, is to be desired, but blood must sometimes be spilled to obtain it on equable and lasting terms. I have always been afraid of banks. I've got big shoes to fill. This is my chance to do something. I have to seize the moment. Any man worth his salt will stick up for what he believes right. But it takes a slightly better man to acknowledge instantly, and without reservation, that he is in error. Democracy shows not only its power in reforming governments, but in regenerating a race of men, and this is the greatest blessing of free governments. To the victors belong the spoils. Every good citizen makes his country's honor his own, and cherishes it not only as precious but as sacred. He is willing to risk his life in its defense and is conscious that he gains protection while he gives it. The planter, the farmer, the mechanic, and the laborer form the great body of the people of the United States. They are the bone and sinew of the countrymen, who love liberty and desire nothing but equal rights and equal laws. Heaven will be no heaven to me if I do not meet my wife there. We are beginning a new era in our government. I cannot too strongly urge the necessity of a rigid economy, and an inflexible determination not to enlarge the income beyond the real necessities of the government. Elevate those guns a little lower. The wisdom of man never yet contrived a system of taxation that would operate with perfect equality. All the rights secured to the citizens under the Constitution are worth nothing, and a mere bubble, except guaranteed to them by an independent and virtuous judiciary. The people are the government, administering it by their agents. They are the government, the sovereign power. It is to be regretted that the rich and powerful too often bend the acts of government to their own selfish purposes. Americans are not a perfect people, but we are called to a perfect mission. The duty of government is to leave commerce to its own capital and credit as well as all other branches of business, protecting all in their legal pursuits, granting exclusive privileges to none. The brave man inattentive to his duty is worth little more to his country than the coward who deserts in the hour of danger. Disunion by force is treason. I would sincerely regret, and which never shall happen whilst I am in office: a military guard around the President. Mr. Van Buren, your friends may be leaving you, but my friends never leave me. Mischief springs from the power, which the moneyed interest derives from a paper currency which they are able to control, from the multitude of corporations with exclusive privileges, which are employed altogether for their benefit. There are no necessary evils in government. Its evils exist only in its abuses. In England, the judges should have independence to protect the people against the crown. Here the judges should not be independent of the people, but be appointed for not more than 7 years. The people would always re-elect the good judges. War is a blessing, compared with national degradation. You must pay the price, if you wish to secure the blessing. I cannot consent that my mortal body shall be laid in a repository prepared for an emperor, or a king. My republican feelings and principles forbid it. The simplicity of our system of government forbids it. I feel in the depths of my soul that it is the highest, most sacred, and most irreversible part of my obligation to preserve the union of these states, although it may cost me my life. Fear not. The people may be deluded for a moment, but cannot be corrupted. If the union is once severed, the line of separation will grow wider and wider, and the controversies which are now debated and settled in the halls of legislation will then be tried in fields of battle and determined by the sword. Nullification means insurrection and war, and the other states have a right to put it down. Unless you become more watchful in your states, and check the spirit of monopoly and thirst for exclusive privileges, you will in the end find that the control over your dearest interests has passed into the hands of these corporations. Our government is founded upon the intelligence of the people. I for one do not despair of the Republic. I have great confidence in the virtue of the great majority of the people, and I cannot fear the result. It was settled by the Constitution, the laws, and the whole practice of the government that the entire executive power is vested in the President of the United States. I am a senator against my wishes and feelings, which I regret more than any other of my life. No one need think that the world can be ruled without blood. The civil sword shall and must be red and bloody. Every diminution of the public burdens arising from taxation gives to individual enterprise increased power, and furnishes to all the members of our happy confederacy new motives for patriotic affection and support. The great constitutional corrective in the hands of the people against usurpation of power, or corruption by their agents, is the right of suffrage, and this when used with calmness and deliberation will prove strong enough. There is nothing that I shudder at more than the idea of a separation of the Union. Should such an event ever happen, which I fervently pray God to avert, from that date I view our liberty gone. The safety of the Republic being the supreme law, and Texas having offered us the key to the safety of our country from all foreign intrigues and diplomacy, I say accept the key, and bolt the door at once. The Constitution and the laws are supreme, and the Union indissoluble. As long as our government is administered for the good of the people, and is regulated by their will, as long as it secures to us the rights of persons and of property, liberty of conscience and of the press, it will be worth defending.